What do you think that you're stuck doing? What is what is it that you are getting stuck with? Are you not heard enough, respected enough, included enough, valued enough, energized or hard, trusted enough? So all of these can be one or the more stories about life. Just imagine. Just imagine that you are recognized. What will it take to be a protagonist when you start getting recognized? Bring positive changes in you. What positive change is required right now, which you are not able to do? Today we'll be learning about a bit about how to have that healthy mind. Sorry. How to get the results you want. That will be our thing today. But right now, it is so easy to change the thoughts, and that is the only way to recognize the invisible. You can recognize the invisible and change your thoughts, or once you change your thoughts, you start recognizing the invisible. And that is, then you start creating that magnetism, that charisma, which will make you included. Is that so? When do you pioneer someday? When you add values to other people's life. How do you then benefit from adding values to our lives. So today's world is very materialistic. How do you think that you are adding value to another person's life? Achieving results, so crucial. So if it is a problem, then what is the solution right now? Hi, Sophie. You there? Sophie, are you there? Am I audible to you? Hi.
And unmute you. Good morning. Good morning.
Good
How are
morning.
you?
I'm good. How are you? What is the time right now?
7 a.m.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been up since 4 o'clock, so no
Oh,
problem.
okay. Why are you so up so early?
Uh I don't sleep more than 4 or 5 hours. So if I fall asleep by 11:30 or so, I'm
Okay.
up. Yeah, I'm up pretty early. Yeah.
So how do you manage? You still feel like healthy and
Yeah,
energetic?
I'm rested. I'm rested. I if I sleep 8 hours, one day when I was in Albuquerque, I was aware that I slept 8 full hours, and that was unusual.
Oh,
So I'm rested when I wake up. So I don't know. I guess some people just don't need as much sleep as others.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So do you need a full 8 hours of sleep?
Not like that. Actually, every day nowadays
Yeah.
I sleep at 12 and get up at say 6. So 6 hours I sleep. And
Okay. Okay.
sometimes it is like it depends on how much exhaustion I had the previous day.
Yeah.
So I had a 2 hour sleep just before this, just come today. I never sleep in the afternoon.
Oh,
So,
you took a nap today, huh?
yeah, so it was like a full 2 hours sleep. I was sleeping.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I was feeling very exhausted since yesterday because yesterday was a full hectic day. Sometimes what happens, my kind of work, whatever work I do, I
Mm-hmm.
don't no go on like telling that I did this, I did that today. It is pretty coordination work. So how much can you say, even if you want to say that
Yeah.
small small things, coordination is always like a huge lot many, but it is just in between.
Yeah. And
Uh,
if you do a lot of coordinating, it's mentally exhausting.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, you
yeah,
may physically have sat in your office all day, but if you've been coordinating with 20 people,
yeah,
yeah, it's an exhausting time.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So, so you
yeah.
have a yoga class. You have a yoga class coming up today, huh?
Yes, yes. So since it is a course, last 2 days, today is the third day.
Uh-huh.
So it in an say at 6:30. Right now it is 4:30. It's going to be 4:30.
Yeah.
So yeah, at 6:30 to it almost goes to 9. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Do you have to go somewhere, or is it you stay
No,
home
no,
and do it?
here. Right
Oh,
now
good.
here only the
Good.
processors will be there.
Yeah. Okay. So how are you feeling with the African Crusade thing going? Are you feeling good about it?
I'm feeling very good, great actually. The
Good.
only thing is those people, like say Margita and Ayantu, you spoke to them, right?
Yeah.
You
Mm,
spoke to Ayantu.
I've only spoken to Ernest outside of this Saturday group. I haven't talked to the other people.
Yeah, yeah. So I find them a bit reserved, not reserved actually. They are not very good at no reaching out to people.
Oh,
They need to reach out to lot many people and
yeah.
not within Facebook. I think
Mm,
Anto is trying. She is at Canada. She is
mhm,
trying to reach out to lot many people. Maybe this time by mid of May she will be back to Ethiopia. But and she has gone there to mobilize more resources for their orphanage.
mm.
That means reaching out to people, right?
Sure.
Uh, and
Yeah, sure.
she is not. Suppose they expect me to reach out to people, then I have to have lot more about them.
Mm-hmm.
And I told them to uh, just share the one whatever I post, whatever little I know, whatever I
Mm-hmm.
just to share that and again tag each of us so that that will spread.
Yeah.
Now that is
I
their job.
Yeah, right. You can only do so much, right? They have to do their share too.
Because I am not there. It's a kind of sounds very funny. Me talking, sitting in India about
Mm-hmm.
Ethiopia. So they
Mm-hmm.
need to speak about that and then tag each of us so that we can communicate further and other
Yeah.
people commenting. That is how we can. Uh,
Yeah.
that
Maybe
part.
they're just they're maybe they're not technically as savvy as you are. I mean, you've been doing your you've been on Facebook and other media a lot. They probably don't have the same experience as you.
So I told them the same thing. Just post a photograph every day and tag each of us so that we can start commenting. That is all I have asked. So
Yeah.
what Ayantu did was she created a group, a Facebook group.
Mm-hmm.
So unless she invites other people to that
Mm-hmm.
group, how
That's
can
true.
anybody anybody know?
Right. Right.
And she needs to keep on posting in that group as well if she has
Yeah.
created.
Yeah.
No
Uh
idea.
I have seen that you were posting on my pages, and that's good because people here in town are seeing that. In fact, one woman said, did you get hacked? There's some things on there that I'm not sure you have posted. And I said, no, that's legitimate. That's my friend who's posting for the African Crusade, a
Mhm.
global commitment. And so people are seeing it.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
that's a
just
good.
tagged you. That means when I tag you, it
Yeah,
takes the post to your page. So
yes, that's fine. That's
yeah,
fine.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So that is what initially we cannot tag each and every of our friends, right? So we need
right.
to take so they need to comment below, and they need to express their interest in such matters. So
Yeah,
so as for me to tag them. But
I
if
don't think. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
uh,
Go ahead.
so so I need more of their posts so that I can
Mm.
more of that and tag people. So yeah.
I don't think I am friends. I know I'm friends with Ernest. So if I'm not friends with the other people, I can't tag them with anything for Villa Joy either, can I? I have to
Yeah,
be their
yeah.
friend on Facebook first.
Yes, yes. So, so that also is one step.
Yeah,
Like since each of us are friends in WhatsApp, so you can,
right.
and also I have tagged each of you in that post. So you can just click on that name,
Oh, okay.
and then it sends a friend request to them,
Okay.
and they need to approve you to be friends also. I
Yeah,
think that
yeah,
first step is missing. Maybe that will take some time.
yeah.
Uh, yeah. So,
I noticed I went on Alderson Main Street this morning, and with the opening coming next week, Wednesday, there's the information I asked to be posted isn't on there. It was a couple days ago, but now it's gone. So I'm not sure. I'm hounding this one lady. I'm not sure if she's the right one, but yeah, I'm trying to do that here in town, and I have to go around to a couple of the restaurants and bank and places that let you post, put up flyers. I have to do that today. So things are going well. I had to make a change on how I'm going to do the ceiling, but everything else has fallen into place. It looks nice. I
mm,
painted the rest of the floor yesterday, got that done. Now it's drying,
mm,
and today I have to save my physical energy
mm,
because I'm applying for an art competition for people who have lived in Cleveland, Ohio, for part or all of their lives, and I feel good about having a good shot at it. So we'll see. There's a prize in 5 different categories: um, writing, visual arts, photography, dance, I think, and there's one more. So the deadline is Monday, and I have all the pieces. I just have to put my uh, a little bit more on my CV, and then give myself a couple of days to technically get it to them. I don't want to wait till the last minute.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so things are falling into place, and uh, I I said something to the head of the president of Alderson Main Street
Okay.
about uh, being a sister city to uh to somewhere to Ernest City. So I have to propose that to the mayor and city council,
Mhm.
and they may want to talk to him, and he's ready to talk to anybody. You know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I'll be quiet now because you probably have to let other people in.
No, no, other people, I just message them to
Oh,
come in because that is another problem, the time confusion.
yeah. Yeah.
Right. So they are like 3.5 hours, 4 hours uh, mm, early in their
Yeah.
day. So, um,
How long would it take you to fly to Nigeria, for instance, if we all wanted to meet someplace in Africa, in Nigeria or Ethiopia, how long would it take you to fly there?
so
Or for them
Nigeria,
to come to India? Like the flight
no,
time for me
there is,
is like
no,
11.
yeah, there is no direct flight, I think, from
Oh,
India, not many to
yeah,
Nigeria.
yeah,
Ethiopia is towards north of Africa, and Nigeria is mid or south, towards south of Africa.
yeah, yeah.
So it is very easy from Delhi to Dubai. If you fly, it takes hardly 2 hours.
Oh,
And Dubai is Saudi Arabia, if you know. It is the Middle
mhm,
East. And
okay.
so that is the point where Asia ends and Africa starts.
Mm,
Uh,
okay.
and the midpoint to go to Europe, go to Africa, then. And so, but if I try to go to Nigeria, it will take a lot of just uh, you stop over, no? The stopover time is huge
Oh,
before
is
you
it
get to.
really
Yeah,
a big layover, huh? Ooh,
yeah, yeah.
okay.
So
Okay.
one of my colleague, he worked before in Nigeria, so
Mm-hmm.
he went there. So there was a 6 hours this stopover, and then
Oh.
it took him. So it took him one day complete
Mm,
to reach. So
mm-hmm.
that is a huge
Uh,
time. Yeah.
there's a woman who does travel stuff online, and she suggests if you have a long layover like that, don't be upset about it. Make plans in advance to visit the city that you're in, which was a really good idea when you think
Yes.
about it.
Yeah.
Rather than waiting in the airport for 6 hours,
Yeah.
take advantage of doing some sightseeing and stuff. And I thought that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever, well, yeah, I've had a 6 hour layover before, but I just, I just kept myself busy for 6 hours. But if I ever have that happen again, I'll take a different approach to doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, Ernest has me over there already, painting, teaching kids and classes and all that kind of stuff in person. And I'm thinking, oh, brother, uh, I don't have a problem with going. It's making the time to go. uh,
Yeah.
I I started collecting paints and brushes because I have a lot of stuff here, but I don't know if it'll make sense to ship it or what, because he might be able to buy it cheaper than I could ship it.
Mhm.
Um, but one way or the other, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm not ready to jump on a plane tomorrow by a long shot, but we'll see. We'll see how it all develops.
Yeah.
Um, I did. The local artisan gallery needed um, a fill-in special artist. They have every 6 weeks they have a guest artist come, and so they said that I could be their guest artist. So um, from May 6th next weekend till July 3rd, I'm going to be the guest artist at the local gallery, which is it's been a long time since I've had a gallery show. So they're going to have a little reception, and it'll be nice because um, I avoid competitions generally because it does so much to people's egos.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
and I'm at the place where, yeah, it's nice to be recognized. Of course it is. But I get so many people commenting on my car every day that I guess that's good enough. That's good enough. Plus, I like what I do myself. But anyway, so I'm going to have some canvases on the wall for the first time in a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
So when is that?
the reception is next. Saturday in the afternoon for a couple hours, and then the work is going to go up. Um, yeah, it'll be up starting that Saturday, and it'll be up until July 3rd. So it'll be up for about 6 weeks.
Oh,
Which the kind of cool thing about it is my stuff is very different than what they have in there right now. It's much more out there and much more contemporary than what they have. They have some really cool like steampunk lights and stuff. It's really cool stuff I haven't seen before. But as far as painting, most of their stuff is traditional landscapes of barns and animals. And so, my splashy stuff is very different. So we'll see if anybody's interested in something outside the box.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So
So by that time, if these children would have learned something, that is what I proposing to you. If you can record small videos, like how to what paper to use and how to paint whatever resources they
yeah,
have,
yeah,
then he can send. What can he send? He can send a image of that painting, might be,
yeah, yeah.
and that may be auction. uh,
True. I forgot that you said that, but that's a good idea. I've forgotten all those things temporarily, so it's a good thing you remind me because I've been so absorbed with getting the place ready that
yeah.
I thought, okay, when the place is ready, what am I going to do on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for 5 hours while I'm sitting there?
Mm,
So what you're talking about is exactly what I can do.
yeah.
I can show them color theory, how to mix, how to use a brush, how to use the sides of a brush, how to mix colors. Yeah, I can do all that kind of stuff and make little videos. That's a
Yeah.
that's a really good idea. Rather
So,
than, I mean, it'd be nice to go at some point, but that's not where we have to start.
yes, yes, exactly. So
Yeah.
what you can do is not to talk much, just uh, say this is color mixing, and
Okay.
then you do this stuff. Why
Okay.
why this is required? You can talk about that a little, because those children are, I don't think they are going to understand English as much as
Yes.
other people. So
Yes.
they would require your action points. Whatever you do, they will
Yeah.
follow that. So show
Okay.
that, show that more, and that will be easy. So
Yeah.
each point of painting, you make one video. Maybe it will be like say at max it will be 3 minutes.
Yeah. Those are good things that I would not have thought about. Thank you for telling me those.
Yeah,
And thank you for posting the tiger reserve story again,
yeah,
because I had forgotten what made you uh do the production project.
yeah.
And yeah, it was a good thing to read that again. That was pretty amazing.
So
Pretty amazing.
thank you, Sophie. But what part of that do you think has to capture more? Because when I tell that story, uh,
Mm-hmm.
people say that I'm making up. So you know what happens? Yeah, many of them are there like that. And many things happened in my life which were not possible by human beings. It
Yeah.
was not
Yeah.
possible just because my effort. It was possible because of a blessing.
Yeah.
And all of us have those kind of blessings, which we
Absolutely.
we don't
Absolutely.
do anything about, but just we become deserving of receiving those blessings. So
Mhm.
right now, whatever I'm doing, I want to make people more deserving, no? Which which is not about doing everything. We talk about SMART goals, right? You must have heard about that. So that is why also I talk about what if your aspiration is more than you are right now, you
Uh,
are capable of.
uh-huh.
That means you are designed to achieve more for which you don't do anything at all. You cannot do. Those things are beyond something. Those are not very logical, abstract.
Mm,
So you feel all those things, right? So when
yeah.
you feel those things happening in your life in thousands of ways, then
Mm-hmm.
you feel blessed, and then you surrender to a power, not blaming yourself for everything in life. There is no
That's
blame
a
in life anymore.
Yeah, that's a big thing for
Yeah.
people to get past, Nalima, and also a
Yeah.
big thing for them to realize they may not have any dreams. You and I have been studying this for a long time.
Yeah.
A lot of people are still pushing the noodle upstream, trying to
Yeah.
push a noodle because they don't understand that it's not about deserving. Everybody deserves it. If you're alive and breathing, you deserve it. But a lot of people are not at that place. So I understand your frustration um, in watching people um, not be beyond who they know themselves to be. I understand that.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
uh, also because I have been speaking to people these days, and I was very, very surprised. People ask, even women asked, what do you think women are struggling for? So
Mm-hmm.
I said, every day she has to struggle. And because of that, she or he, whoever it may be, so they're struggling because of small issues,
Yeah.
because they cannot process all that is happening in their life. And
Yes.
that is a struggle, because having a child is a huge blessing, but again, that is a struggle for a woman
Yeah.
for few hours, a few years, 7 to 8 years, she is not free till the child is independent on its.
Yeah.
In Indian scenario, if the woman is the only one to take care of that child, so that is
Yeah.
a struggle. That is a huge struggle, and the child happens when she is growing in career. So the
Mm-hmm.
productive system and her growing career growth happens at the same time. So what to compromise, and where to compromise, how much, and is that a compromise at all, or is there a better way to deal with it at all? So these are the struggles, these are the questions that I faced, and many of people, even in this yoga class, there is a girl with a small baby, and
Mm-hmm.
all the time she gets disturbed because of the baby. And
Mm-hmm.
um, so the yoga teacher, she is also a lady, and she is saying, whether you are there or not, this child will grow up, because they're
Yeah.
meant to grow up. They will
They're
grow.
meant to, right? You got it. They're going to grow up one way or the other. Yeah.
So the way we are like, as mothers, we are getting entangled into their world is something to we should decide. It is not going to be decided by somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the bigger problem, and how you see. The last week to last week, I was mentoring one girl, young age girl. She had a breakup when she was in university, and that
Mm-hmm.
was a bad breakup, and then again getting together, then again, and that guy was manipulating this girl, and she was not able to know.
Okay.
So 3 or 4 times I got her out of that cycle, and she again got into that. Finally,
Mm-hmm.
that guy got married, you know,
To
to
somebody else, to
somebody
someone
else,
else.
someone
Ugh.
else.
Yeah,
And
that's a toughie.
and I told her this beforehand. The moment you hear that story, you know that this is going to happen. But the girl, she didn't realize, and she was getting into that time and again, and she was not
Yeah.
getting to her career, uh, which is why I got to know her. So she was an intern in where I worked.
Okay.
So that is how. So last to last week, she has to change her career from wherever, from marketing to finance.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her, and she wanted me to teach her Excel, you know, so
Mm-hmm.
all formulas and all. So I told her to list out where she is going to apply those formulas. Unless you apply, you won't learn anything, right?
Yeah.
So I asked her to list out if you know finance already, and only thing missing is the formula. Then list out those 50 things which you know already.
Mm-hmm.
So she said 50, which 50? I said, if you're saying you know the subject, you know 50 things at least, right?
Right,
Of the
right.
subject.
You might,
So those
if not, you might need to choose something else, right?
so list out those 50 things and tell me where do you need this formula. Then
Yeah.
I'll find out and teach you because I don't know. I am not from finance background. I don't know
Yeah.
which formula to teach you. I'm not going to teach you entire Excel either.
Yeah.
I'll teach you this formula. If you won't list out these 50 things by tomorrow, that is a mindset issue. It is not a formula issue.
Yeah. Yeah.
so, so should I teach you mindset again? As you were saying, yes, 30% of mindset I know. You taught me. 70% you still need to teach me.
Right.
This is the main problem. The mindset issue is the biggest problem rather
Yeah.
than a formula. Once your mindset is fixed, you will get the
Yeah.
formula.
When
So
you teach mindset, I'm assuming that included in there is where you have to be confident in who you are. You have to know yourself and
yes,
not depend on someone else for your happiness. I'm assuming that comes into your
yes,
class.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. So that is a
Yeah.
very that is the only thing we need to learn in entire life. Who
Yes.
we are, and that who we are. We may have to depend on others because we have to leverage their
Yeah.
capability because we are not all by ourselves are capable of everything. We need to
Right.
take help of others. That
Yeah.
way,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
we need to depend, but it is not about uh, be
Turning
dependent.
over your power to them.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
So that is what she was doing when she was getting into that guy time and
Yeah.
again. And
Yeah.
so now she has written a very beautiful. Has won one award also last 2 months back, and
Mm-hmm.
she said it is because of you. So she attributed that award to me, and
Uh-huh.
I said, why don't you win more awards so that I'll take credit for each of your awards? I don't mind doing that. So yeah, so uh, uh,
Yeah, that's a I was thinking of the twin flame situation that I'm pretty sure that I ended up in. I know that's a term that a lot of people don't know about and don't honor, and sometimes I wonder myself, but
yeah,
it's a good explanation for having a heart connection with somebody that you're really not supposed to be married to, or
yeah,
you're not supposed to be in a romantic situation with. And if I had learned that a little sooner, I probably would have had a whole lot less anguish in my life too,
yeah,
because my friend that I've known since '98, um, we are not. We have a emotional, spiritual heart connection, but we are not in this lifetime. Even if he finds himself single. We are not supposed to be in that kind of relationship.
Yeah.
And it's the first time that I've ever had any relationship like that. And I have learned more from this man than anyone in my whole life, male or female. I have learned more from him that I needed to go forward in my life. But, um, and I just, it took a lot of hitting
Mhm.
myself in the head before I said, because we did the same thing. We break up and then we go and get back together and all that kind of stuff. But in the breakups is when I learned a lot of stuff about who I was
Okay.
and got more clarity. And
Mm.
then I could go back to him and say, and then have conversation. And I don't have any connection. I mean, we can talk about what he and his wife are doing, what he and his kids, he and his family. And I've gotten to the place where if he dies, if he croaks out before me, I don't, I'm not, it's like, just let me know energetically, send
Ah,
me that song that we have in common that we like together, and that'll be fine. I don't need to go beyond that. But
yeah.
it took a long time because, I've been married a couple times, but I
Yeah.
never learned the kinds of things when I was married to anyone that I learned from this man. And that's unusual. That's an unusual situation to find yourself in.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there are people that will teach you and are there to teach you, but you're not supposed to be in a romantic situation with them.
Yes. 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 So you have heard about this Krishna and Radha story of
No.
India. So try Google out, and Radha and Krishna are worshipped together. You know,
Okay. Okay.
but they were not husband and wife ever. So
Okay.
Krishna was this is called an avatar of the god who
Uh-huh.
come to the earth to destroy certain evil elements. So he was one of those avatar. That is what is told, and
Mm-hmm.
he grew up with Radha. Uh,
Okay.
but Radha was the fiancée or say wife later of another person. Uh,
Okay.
we don't read about that person much, but
Okay.
we
Okay.
read entire story, entire epic is about them, Radha and
All
Krishna.
right.
They
Okay.
after once this Krishna grows up and goes out of town, wherever he grew up.
Mm-hmm.
He went from there. This is a very interesting story and very elaborately described also. But
Mm-hmm.
since you mentioned about this not getting married and then also being together, this is
Yeah.
another relationship which we haven't brought to our uh, all relationships thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is a relationship we don't have a name for. So
Yeah.
this is
Yes.
one
Yes.
kind
We
of
do not have a name for it. Yes.
name for it. So this Radha and Krishna, this is a story in which you find everything to be unfair. Like it is not according to the society, because he was in deep love with Krishna. Krishna
Mm-hmm.
was always so whenever he was suffering or he was happy, Radha used to know, and she used to feel that energetic, that vibrational thing was always there. So
Mm-hmm.
that was described there are stages. People described it very differently, all
Mm-hmm.
different. Whatever Krishna did, it is a Mahabharat. Have you heard about this epic Mahabharat? No.
Mm-hmm. No.
So like Ramayana, have you heard about Ramayana and Mahabharat? So Ramayana
No.
and Mahabharat are the two epic stories uh, apart from Vedas. Veda, you might have heard. So,
The
huh,
Vedas, I know about the Veda writings.
yeah. So
Okay.
those are theories, but these two are the story form of whatever is written in those things. Like say whatever
Okay.
is absolute, it has to be told in a story, right? So that is why
Okay.
I think that the people of that time, they actually crafted two stories of
Uh-huh.
different times. Ramayana first, when the hero or the whatever you say, the main character of that particular epic, he was
Mm-hmm.
very strict. One wife only, not looking at any other lady and other stuff. But
Yeah.
in the later was in the later epic, which is called Mahabharat, in which Krishna is the hero,
Yeah.
that person was in relationship with many ladies,
Okay.
thousands of them, and everybody
Okay.
was very closely attached to him. And the most attached was Radha. So that is why they are worshipped together. Now,
Mm.
many people today also try to interpret what is that relationship about. So,
Yes.
I, uh, as much as I have, analyzed all that and all, the first
Yeah.
thing, there is no name to that kind of relationship, which we also feel in our lives, but
Yep.
we haven't given them name. Maybe at times we that guilt of having that relationship was there, so we let
Mm.
go of that relationship rather than being in that. And later we realized that it was supposed to go, but that was
Mm-hmm.
later on. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
if, as you were saying, if you would have realized that, that would have saved us a lot of anguish at that point of time,
Yeah.
just by giving knowing that this is this, no other thing. So
Right.
we try to rationalize each of our relationship
Yeah.
with a name, which is why the trouble, all the trouble.
Yeah.
If we don't give any name, no, don't try to rationalize, then there is
Yeah.
no trouble, no problem at all.
Right.
Because
We
we are,
we like to put labels on stuff.
yeah, yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
if you go by that, then you understand each of his story, because a person who is so much of loving, he is bound to be associated with men and women both. So
Yeah.
when he was associated with men, nobody said anything. If he was associated with women, why the trouble, why the fuss? So
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
so and he was a very trusted friend to each of the women, and women need trusted friends all through their life.
Sure.
And
Absolutely.
he played that role,
Yeah.
and he didn't ditch any one of them for the other. So
Mm-hmm.
he also was married multiple times, and all those stuff that is there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it didn't do anything to the relationship with Radha.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get to in this ISKCON thing, Radha and Krishna are the uh, two characters which
Mm-hmm.
are worshipped. Maybe if you read that also, but separately you can read about Radha and Krishna, and
And how do you spell Radha?
Radha,
Radsa.
H for
H. Oh, H. H. Got it. Let me write that down. Yeah, I would like to read it. Radha.
and Krishna.
Yeah. Uh, Krishna, I only know as a separate entity. I don't know any stories about relationships. But you know, what we're talking about is kind of what we are talking about when we connect and gather. You don't have to have an intimate relationship with everybody in your life, but
Yeah.
but if we honor that we all come from some divine place or some place, some
yeah,
source, and we can keep ourselves from being separate, seeing
yeah,
ourselves as separate people, and honoring that little spark in all of us. That's kind of what we're talking about.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that's kind of what the stories were about.
yeah. And the other aspect that I understand is, suppose you are connected to a God, then what kind of relationship will you have with that particular God? So um, here in India, they talk about having friendship with God.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can treat him as your son or daughter
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
mother or father. That is usual. So and as your lover as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that freedom you have, right? Uh,
Your
your
choice. Yeah.
your choice, your choice. So
Yes. Yeah.
why to restrict out there? So the way you define your relationship with your inner being, that is the inner being at all. It is
Yeah.
not somebody outside. It is
Yes.
here inside your heart, and how you look at that person, that
Yeah.
being within you, is
Yeah.
what matters. And according to that you go. And if you establish that kind of relationship with that inner being, then might be you don't need another similar kind of thing externally, because what
True.
you get inside
Yeah.
will be always bigger, huge.
Yeah.
Externally it is not possible. So that is another way of defining. That might have been the understanding of those ladies who were associated with Krishna, or
Yes.
our those epic writers.
Yeah.
They understood this aspect better, better than
Yeah.
the later people from of the later society. So,
Yes. I think so.
and it is still being analyzed what Krishna was. And
Mm.
at the end, Krishna actually kills his entire family. Uh,
Oh.
he makes it in such a way that people kill each other, the entire family. It becomes a huge family, and
Mm-hmm.
so he had to kill before he goes from the earth. So
Why did he have to kill them?
because no, there has to be a balance of balance of good and bad.
Okay.
Your own
Okay.
people who are supporting you might be
Mm-hmm.
as evil as the people who are against you. That
I
is
see.
another way of seeing things. So
Okay.
whoever is in your close circle, it doesn't mean that they are not evil. So he
Yes.
found many of them evil because they are very proud, because they are very close to Krishna. They
Yeah.
were very close to Krishna. So they thought that they can do anything. So that is why
Mm-hmm.
he had to. Actually, they killed each other because they were so proud. Somebody was proud being the son of Krishna.
Yeah.
Somebody else was proud because he was friend of Krishna. Now
Yeah.
they fought amongst each other and they killed each other. That is why.
Yeah. So if you're in your culture, you believe in reincarnation. So to kill somebody is not a big deal because they're coming back in another shape or form, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So yes, and uh, at the end, each of them, whether we portray them as good or bad,
Yeah.
those all of them are souls, pure beings, you know.
Yes.
So, at the end of the story, the earthly story, they all are souls. So they have to reach to that stage by some means, somehow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it might take some say a few births to happen before that happens, because the entire Ramayana especially, because
Mm-hmm.
when one evil person gets killed, there is a story behind him, who he was. So
Right.
he was a godly person. He did
Yeah.
some mistake, and because of that, he had to be punished to being a evil being on earth, and he was doing something, and now he was getting killed, and he's going back to his original thing.
Yeah. Are we
So
talking about reaching nirvana?
no, no,
Is that that word doesn't come into the picture anywhere?
that is the later stage wherein
Oh,
you are not into godhood at all. You
oh,
are evolving as a person, and you are reaching to that godhood all by yourself,
okay,
because
okay.
it is a step lower than godhood. They don't talk about being god at nirvana.
Mm-hmm.
It is about no being in control of whatever situation you are in. You don't blame at that stage. Everything is a blessing in that
Mm-hmm.
stage.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, there is another stage called moksha. Moksha is like you are one with the supreme being,
Okay.
the ultimate soul. So
Yeah.
nirvana is that stage. So each of us, Buddhism, this nirvana term came because of Buddhism.
Mm.
So Buddha got this word, and he achieved this nirvana because he understood what is it, how to
Okay.
be independent of your external circumstances, because he used to be a king, and
Mm.
after reaching nirvana he didn't care whether he was a king or something. He only
Mm-hmm.
cared about his knowledge, and it had to be passed on to people so that
Mm-hmm.
everybody can be a Buddha. That is what was his thing. So
Okay.
each of us has the potential to be a Buddha.
Yeah. So
And
the term nirvana is a Buddhist term, not an Indian, not a term from India.
it is a term from India because Buddha is from India only.
Yeah. What am I saying? I'm getting confused with all the entities. Ooh.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So what happened was, because Brahminism, this Hinduism, no, there is a caste system, you have heard, must be. So that
Yes.
caste system, in that this Brahmins were the upper caste, you can say, and
Yeah.
they had the privilege of getting educated. All
Mm.
the all the knowledge had to go to them. So
Yeah.
because it was in Sanskrit, and there was not much of teachers, there were not many teachers who could teach, and so it was not like universities where everybody went and studied. So it
Yeah.
was knowledge was constrained to that particular group of people, and those people later on, when you get something absolute and nobody is there to challenge you, what happens is you become kind of a tyrant kind of thing. And so
Yeah.
this became tyrant, and when Buddhism came, there are many people who were harassed because of this particular sect, or
Mm-hmm.
say group. So they went to Buddhism. Now um, these people were after them to
Mm.
destroy Buddhism in India. So in India, Buddhism at that time didn't spread much.
Okay.
It went from India to Sri Lanka and the eastern part of Asia most.
Okay.
So, and it went to Japan also, where Japan actually is now flourishing with that Buddhism, and they know
Yeah.
that since it has come from India and the place where it started, they are coming back and building the place right now, and
Mm-hmm.
getting everybody to. So we don't understand whether it is Japan. For me, at least, I don't understand whether it is Japanese or say Sinhalese or wherever it is. The
Yeah.
concept is the same, and it is
Yeah.
a huge thing
Yeah.
to
It doesn't
understand.
matter, really, does it?
But they have something in mind, saying that it has to come to India, and they are making India, wherever it was started, that place to be the center place.
Mm-hmm.
so that it will spread from there. I don't know how it will spread from there, but that is what they're trying to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting. Uh, we like to put labels on things, but the concepts, all, there's truth in all the concepts, one way or the other.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we may not all have a chance to talk about them and discuss them with other people, but when you sit back, when you go back far enough, if we could go
Uh-huh.
back far enough in the distance and look down,
Yeah.
we would more easily see
Yeah.
the similarities, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because the mind has different hues, it has
Yeah.
different shades. So that is why all the concepts are evolved. And we need
Yeah.
to know about them, because somebody has this in mind, a particular aspect in mind, he cannot
Right.
catch the other aspect. So
Yeah.
he or she has to be given a concept which is close to that person. So
Yeah. Yeah.
they can grow, and
Yeah.
ultimate destination is to understand yourself, right? uh,
Right.
and realize your own potential. That is the
Yeah.
ultimate that we are
Yeah.
all trying to get it. And
I'm finding myself in Alderson in the middle of, I didn't think about this when I moved down here because it didn't matter. It still doesn't really matter. It's just an awareness. I have found myself coming from a big city in Ohio that had a little bit of everybody to an area that is mostly very conservative um, and uh, a lot of churches, a lot of they call this the Bible Belt because people are very connected to the Bible. There are a lot of Baptist people here and a lot of Methodists and a lot of sects of each of those. There's some Presbyterians, but I think in the big picture there are probably more Baptist churches than any, which is really interesting because I was raised Catholic, but don't I don't really call myself a Christian anymore. I keep that pretty much to myself, but I don't because I honor a little bit of everything and I don't, go to the Catholic Church like I used to when I was growing up. But what I have found is since I came down here in 2020 to help Austin, I have been thrown in the middle and made my heavy duty connections all through the Baptist church. And now I'm singing in the Baptist choir, right, on Sundays.
okay.
And I look, I come outside of myself and I make that observation. And it really is about connecting with the people standing next to me because we're all after the same thing ultimately, right? And so when I sing a lot of words that I don't agree with necessarily in practice, but I just enjoy the sound and I enjoy the notes and I enjoy the fact that I'm standing there and I'm not signing on any dotted line to join anything. And it doesn't matter. It
Yeah.
really doesn't matter.
Yes.
Um, and that's been interesting. Uh, when I came down in 2020, I I bought eggs at a farmer's market, and the man I bought them from, the man and wife, he was a pastor, a Baptist minister.
Okay.
And so I said, okay, I'll honor the synchronicities and I'll come to your church, but you're not dunking me in any water and I'm not signing in on any dotted line. Been there, done that.
Mhm.
So I was, I didn't know this, but I was the only congregant sitting in the seat. His family was there, his two grown daughters and his grandchildren, and I was the only one because
Oh,
he had broken off from another church because he didn't follow the financial guidelines that they required. And so he and his wife rented this little lovely little chapel church every week. And lo and behold, that man died of COVID in 3 weeks. And he was so worried. Saying, Nalima, he was always worried about my soul. At the end of every, they gave me a Bible, and at the end of every service, he would say, Sophie, I'm worried about you. And I would say, Dean, don't worry about me. I'm fine. Lo and behold, he passes because of COVID. So fast forward another year or two, and here I am singing. The this church sponsors a Christmas cantata, and they sponsor one at Easter.
Mhm.
And I just liked singing so much in the one at Christmas that I sang in the, I had, while I was in New Mexico, I had them send me the book and the CD so I could practice. And then then the Easter one happened, and they said, well, you're gonna come back, right, and sing with us on Sundays. And I'm thinking, really? But but the more I thought about it, it's really joyful to sing with them.
Yeah.
And the things that I don't agree with, I either don't sing, or, like I told you, I just let them roll off of me. Because there is, there is truth in honoring uh, uh, whatever you're honoring, and you just leave out the part that you don't want. That's how I do it. I
Yes.
don't know if I could. I don't know what the young minister. He's a young guy. I think his views are a little more open than maybe an old Baptist pastor.
Yeah.
But I have had no need to get into a, religious discussion with him. I just say hi, and he knows me, and I'm there singing, and we go from that point. And the choir goes and sits in the pews after they sing,
Mm.
so I sit and listen to his sermon. He
Mm.
talks to the kids first, and then he talks to the adults. And there's not anything he's said that I can't relate to.
Mm. Mm.
So it's been very interesting to watch how I have been directed.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very interesting.
Mm. Mm.
When I'm also in the middle of a very Republican
Mm.
area that supports Donald Trump. So
Mm.
as the next year's elections get closer, I mean, people here are already putting up signs, Trump signs in their yard. And and I don't discuss my politics with anybody. I just go and do my thing.
Mm.
And but I do notice. What I noticed is those people who have put the signs in their yards, whether they're a Biden sign or a Trump sign, they're very passionate about what they're doing,
Yeah. Yeah.
and their truth is their truth. I
Yeah.
may not agree with it, but it's not my business, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, so I've been invited by
Uh-huh.
spirit to expand my thinking about stuff, uh,
Mm.
because I want to enjoy my life here, and I
Yeah.
do.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like this is our meeting, girl.
No, no, not meeting. There are few phones, that this is another strange thing happening because this is the financial year end and new financial year beginning, and there are a
Hmm.
lot of scams going on. So you have to be
Yes.
very, very careful about the phone call that one is getting. So I am receiving
Absolutely.
very weird kind of phone calls. The numbers I don't know who they are from, and
Yeah.
one of my daughter's friends actually lost money,
A lot of money.
lot of money. Yes,
Mm.
about lakh, 100,000, 200,000 in Indian currency. Yes. So,
Yeah.
so it was. I don't know. She had withdrawn that money to invest in something, and she just clicked on something,
Yeah.
and that's it. And her money was gone.
Yep.
And so,
It's
I am very careful. So I'm receiving some calls, from
oh
unknown numbers. So I'm very
yeah,
scared to pick them up.
yeah.
That
I
is
don't blame you.
yeah.
Yep. Since I think since your African Crusade posts are going on my website, I have been getting a lot of people asking to be friends, and I'm not, these are young African men and all kinds of men and all kinds of women, and I'm not I'm not confirming everybody because I don't know who these people are.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So if they're getting there, then they need to go to that particular group. That is where that
Yeah,
group concepts come in. So they
yeah,
have to be part of that group, not to be your friends, right?
right.
So not to be personal friends. So that is
Yeah,
what I wanted Ayantu to do. So that group, and she has to make some arrangement so that people who are reaching out to you, because whoever I have tagged, those people will be getting those kind of posts, and
yeah,
depending upon what your stature is, they would like to come into your circle, and that is
yeah,
they don't have any business, in
yeah,
coming. And
yeah.
yeah, so I don't know how to convey. So they're if
I
they are.
think some of the I think some of those people when they find the site, when I post, I've been posting the updates on Villa Joy on painting and putting stuff up. A couple of people are seeing that and they're watching and then they want to friend me, and I'm not willing to let everybody do that. I mean, I am, but I'm not at the same time, only because of the scams. That's
Yeah,
why. Oh, that's
mm,
because you can't tell. You can't tell.
yes,
If I have any question, I go to their profile, and if they have no profile,
mm,
then I block them right away. If
yes,
they have some kind of a profile and it looks like a normal
mm,
Facebook page, then I'm a little more open to it. But
yeah,
not if you know the biggest ones are, oh, I tried to contact you, I'm in the military here, I've tried to contact you, you're so lovely, yada yada yada. That's
mm,
especially if they have a uniform on and a flag in the background, that is a dead giveaway.
yes,
So many people, so
yes.
many women and men have been scammed that way. Oh my goodness.
uh,
Then they ask you for money. One of my girlfriends, one of my close girlfriends, um, lost probably over $200,000 in American money because she sent this man money she over the last 2 or 3 years. And it's gone from her sending him money to now I'm in jail because you didn't send me the money I needed to make proper identification for the people that I needed to send it. Ah,
mhm.
he wanted to send her packages that she was supposed to forward on to someone else. Oh my God. She got herself in such a mess that her bank got an FBI person to contact her.
Oh,
She really, yeah, she really started to get under investigation, and oh, it was a mess. It was a
yes, yes,
mess. That's the worst situation I've heard of.
yeah,
And now she doesn't send him any more money, but she lost a lot of money that she will never see again.
yes, 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 yes.
Yeah.
So yes, those kind of friend requests also come. So because I'm in Facebook, because this
Yes.
online coaching business has to happen in Facebook.
Yeah.
So what happens when I post something which many people like, and nowadays I'm getting a lot of requests from many people,
Yep.
especially foreigner. And I know, recognize these kind of people that you are saying. They are
Yeah.
they are basically doctors, or not many military people, but doctors especially,
Yeah.
who are from somewhere in Europe, but they have settled in UK. That is what they
Yeah.
see. and all
Yeah.
of them say the same thing, and they have lost their spouse or something, and they have one child. So whenever that kind of thing I see, I ask them, you have lost your wife? No, 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 but I'm a divorcee. How do you know? Then I laugh.
We're wise to your tricks.
Yes,
Oh man, oh man.
the
I'm
same thing.
telling you.
And now they have started naming themselves as Indian name. They will
Oh,
they tell that they are from India, some state.
yeah.
Then they don't look like they their language is not like that. If they have
Yes.
grown in India, they would have a different kind of the different way of speaking
Yes.
things. That is not there.
Yes.
So that has been the latest trick.
Yeah.
So immediately to block them. And
Mm,
yes, yeah, and I only accept friend requests from people who are in other good groups,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
of other influencers who are in certain groups. If they have seen my post from there and there they commented, then only I accept their request.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah. So
You just have to watch these days. I mean, there's like everything else, there's advantages and disadvantages of getting involved in the
yeah.
media, but you have to figure that it's more on the plus side. Otherwise,
Yes.
otherwise you wouldn't do it. I mean,
Yeah.
when we were young kids, we never ever imagined that in an instant we would be talking to somebody on the other side of the world. I mean,
Yes. Yes.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is truly, truly an
Yes.
amazing thing that I could never have imagined.
Yes. Yes. So
So,
you used to write letters. I used to write a lot of letters to my friends when we were in say this summer vacations and all, when the school
sure,
was closed. So
sure.
I I wrote letters lots. Uh,
Um,
and
did you, when the summers happened like when you were in school, when you were in elementary school, you had friends that you live close by, didn't you? They were in your neighborhood, kids in your neighborhood.
now what we call as neighborhood, that time they were like say 3 or 4 kilometers away, and we
Okay.
never got to see each other during that vacation because
Oh,
the movement was not that much. In India, actually, the community culture is not that much in towns
I see.
those days. So
I see.
even now in some parts, the place where I belong, that place
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have, during the afternoons, you will find those places to be very deserted kind. So
Ah,
me going from Delhi to my place, I
yeah.
feel depressed during afternoon times. You have nowhere
Oh,
to go.
I
Uh,
see.
and also you have, because I have outgrown those their mindset also.
Yes.
There is no resonance in speaking. So apart from few things, after that you don't have anything to talk about.
Yeah,
And
I understand. I understand. Um, the my experience of my Indian friends from when I lived in Indiana, the kids were just little, and they uh, was that the Indian community centers, just like the Jewish community centers, were very important, and the Jewish people in the area tried to live close to those so they could walk to their services on the weekends. They're supposed to walk if they can, but maybe that's why Indian community centers developed, um, because people didn't live close enough to have your boyfriend or girlfriend that you rode bikes with didn't live 2 houses away.
yeah,
They lived far distances, and so I can understand why the community center became so important, because that's where you caught up with everybody and you had meals together and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah,
Mm.
that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Afterwards, now I have got my school friends, in one group,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
they every day they chit chat with each other, post pictures and all that, and we
Mhm.
relive our school days.
Yeah.
I studied in a girls' school, no boys.
Yeah. Yeah.
So all girls, and they have become like the grandmothers and all, and they
Yeah.
are posting their whatever pictures and wherever
Yeah.
they are going, their beliefs and stuff.
Yeah.
So I just watch them. If sometime I comment on something, uh,
Sure.
but uh, but again,
These are college age friends, people that you were in college with, or what age
school,
group are you talking?
school. I when I was in school, sixth onwards, sixth standard
Oh,
onwards,
oh, okay.
sixth
Okay.
to 11th. Yeah.
6th to 11th grade. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's nice to watch everybody. I just a couple months ago reconnected with my high school friends. So these are the kids that, I spent 10th, 11th, and 12th grade with.
Oh,
I didn't enjoy high school very much because I had no idea who I was. I mean,
yeah.
I knew I was creative, and that's about all I knew.
Mm,
And so I had no need to go back to high school. But
yeah.
um, now that I'm confident with who I am,
Mm,
uh, I still think the mindset is probably well, I don't know. I don't want to make assumptions. I haven't sat and talked to any of them. One guy I met with and we had dinner together, and he he sends me pictures of cats all the time, every day. He's a cat guy. So he sends me pictures of cats and what else? Mostly animal stuff, which is okay. And I told him, I said, stop sending me political stuff. He was starting to do that. And I said, nope, you can't send me that. The animals I will take, but not the political stuff. But he's way in a way different place than I am in a mindset. He's not a bad guy,
mhm.
but they're going to
Yeah,
have a connection. They're having some kind of gathering in a couple days, I think.
yeah,
Yeah, they're all meeting at a restaurant, but I won't be in Cleveland then. I'm not
mm,
going back there till June
yeah,
for a
yeah.
couple weeks. So they're going to, enjoy their gathering, and I will be here enjoying my gathering.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah.
So that is happening to me as well.
Mm,
Like not being in any group,
yeah.
uh, except that this group, I speak to you like for hours and
Yeah.
never get bored.
Yeah.
This kind of talking I never do nowadays with
Yeah.
anybody.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
another friend of mine. She is very nice, cute girl at my office, and not
Mm-hmm.
girl actually. We are both colleagues, and I enjoy talking with her. Also, she is very homely with her
Yeah.
and her food. She is a foodie kind of
Yeah.
person, so she talks, and we kind of understand have a understanding. Her political views are very different.
Yeah.
Religious views are very different. Spiritually, she is nowhere like what I think. But
Mm-hmm.
we are very compatible, okay with each other's stuff. And
Great.
yeah,
That's
so
important. You got to have somebody. You got to have somebody that you can, say your inner thoughts with.
yes, and
Sooner or later, I think you do. I do. I'll just speak for me. I do.
yes,
I
yes,
guess I'm a loner. I'm a sometimes I'm a loner who needs people. You know,
yeah,
most of the time. Most
yeah.
of the time.
Mm.
Have
Yes.
you have you formally ever studied metaphysics, or have you just gotten that through um, through living life? Have you taken classes on metaphysics and and that kind of stuff?
It just happened because I got interested in that subject. Maybe because from early childhood, my parents were of no religion. They didn't follow any religion. They
You were lucky.
they appreciated every religion, and my father was very particular about worshipping nature, and wherever
Mm-hmm.
he stood, he accepted that there is a higher power, but no worshipping, no nothing, going to
Wow.
temple, no going to
Wow.
church, nowhere near. I went to everywhere, temple, church, Buddhism, this thing, that thing, everything.
How wonderful for you. How wonderful for you to have that background.
Yeah.
Wow.
So my parents were kind of rebellious, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't follow any rule whatsoever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and so from might be that is my background. That is why I got and I loved this Krishna character I just spoke to you very
Yeah.
much. I
Yeah.
read all those epics when I was in sixth standard, already done.
Okay.
So from then on, I started only examining the characters, what they were, why did they do what they had to do, was
Mm-hmm.
it necessary? If I was in that same scenario, can I do same thing? And Krishna,
Mm-hmm.
ladies, the women who were very attached to Krishna,
Mm-hmm.
I studied them very closely, whether and they are very different, but a bit of them is already in each of us, whoever is
Mm.
trying to understand the spirituality and everything. So
Yeah.
because and then from then on, I accepted, I rejected, accepted, rejected many things, and then uh, I know that person I can connect with is
Yeah.
a being which only requires my inner purity,
Mm-hmm.
the honesty with which I can get connected with that being. It
Yeah.
has it depends on me only. It has nothing to do with that being. That
Yeah.
being's power remains intact, and I increase with the way I think, the way
Mm-hmm.
I take it. I
Mm-hmm.
increase my power with my own thing only. So
Yeah.
there is nothing that binds me or no all that stuff. So I keep on thinking, and the more I think, the more I understand that this is the thing, and there is no reason to be insecure about any relationship in this world,
Yeah.
and any belief system either, or everything is okay. And
Yeah.
when a person describes his or her belief system with me, I'm okay with it, even
Yeah.
though they are not agreeing with me. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so and I enjoy also,
Yeah.
because it tells a story about them, how
Right.
it happened. So mm,
There's have you ever seen the woman um on YouTube called named Esther Hicks?
yes,
Have
yes,
you ever?
all the
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
all the
So
time.
I listen to her and listen to Abraham
Yeah,
every day, one
yeah,
way, either
me too.
in the morning or at night. And
Yeah.
then there's also a woman, I don't know if I've mentioned her to you before. She's a counselor. She's a couples counselor, and she's from Belgium. Have I mentioned her name is Esther no, Perel. Esther Perel. There's two Esthers. Isn't that funny? The
Yeah.
yeah, her name is her last name is Perel, and she wrote a book called The State of Affairs,
Oh,
and uh she counsels people who have had affairs, whether they're, gay couples or straight couples or whatever, for the intention of deciding whether they want to stay together or not,
okay.
and so that they can learn more about themselves.
Yeah.
I just happened to find this book a couple years ago by accident. I just and it just um it intrigued me. So I ordered the book. And I'm telling you, I learned so much about myself by the end of the book. And there's a chapter at the end of the book called Monogamous. Oh, I always forget the name of it when I try to tell. It's monogamous. Anyway, the
Yeah.
bottom line is I learned a lot about myself. I learned
Yeah.
that I probably, if I hadn't succumbed to society, and my kids needed to be born, otherwise, that wouldn't have happened. But
Mm.
I probably just need to be on my own,
Yeah.
and not tied to anybody other than tied to everybody in one way or another.
Yeah.
But yeah, Austin and Nathan obviously needed to come through and be born, and so
Mm.
I understand why I was in relationship with their dad, and he's a good guy, and I still talk to him, but I certainly didn't learn. Um, I started to learn, I guess, who I was from John, because he's a very um, he's a very structured person. And I used to laugh because he
Mm.
would go to sleep and he would wake up and not one hair, it's still the same. I bet it's still the same. Not one hair out of his was out of place on his head. That just, and he always looks very put together. And I spent a lot of time in that relationship trying to live inside these guidelines that I formed in my head. And I was exhausted. I was exhausted because I used to worry about the fork being on, oh my God, someone's coming to dinner. So the fork has to be in the right place and the place
Mm.
has to look a certain way. And oh my, after 10 years, I was exhausted. And it
Mm.
wasn't about him. It was about me not knowing to say, nope, this is as far as I'm going.
Mm.
This is not okay with
Mm.
you, Sophie. You were wearing yourself out. It wasn't about him. It was about me not being
Mm.
able to communicate and say, and no, I don't agree with that, or we got to, we have to talk about this.
Mm.
So, the next relationship was even more intense
Mm.
because I didn't learn what I needed to learn. And then I took a long time in there to finally step back and say, who am I? Because I have no idea.
Mm.
I know who I am as a sister, as a child of a parent, but I have no idea who I am in this category. And Esther's book helped me a lot with that.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Yeah.
one way or the other, you get what you need eventually.
Yes.
There's a
Yes.
song like that. What's the name of that song? You may not get what you want, but you always get what you need. I forget the
Yes. Yes. Yes.
the official title, but I know what they're talking about.
Yeah. Sophie, somebody is trying to enter the call. Let us see who is the
Yeah.
uh, Patricia. Uh, from Patricia. Recently, I accepted her into that group.
Okay.
Let us see if she might have seen the notification fairly late.
Yeah. And
Already,
Patricia is the person from where?
that she will tell because no,
Oh,
just she is a newly.
oh,
There is a group of people
okay.
from where Dr. Anita is there.
Oh,
So she is from
okay.
that group. So she has to.
Okay.
Hi, Patricia. Welcome to this conversation. We are about to end. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So,
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Hi. Hi. Welcome.
Uh, Thank you. I'm from Zimbabwe.
oh,
Oh,
Yes.
wonderful.
Thank you.
yes, Patricia, tell us about yourself, how you got interested in all that we are doing, and yeah, your idea of how to take this forward.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. The way I got in, someone identified me on Facebook.
yes.
Yeah, thank you. But I am a head of academics here in Zimbabwe.
Okay.
But not only am I involved in education work, I'm also involved in humanitarian work, helping out where I feel that there's need in the children's home, in the old people's homes as well. And then I'm involved also in climate action, promotion of SDGs, and uh, infusing them in our teaching in the classroom as well. And then also I'm involved in women empowerment and girl child empowerment as well, workshops and hold workshops. And we distribute some educational provisions, sanitary wear, to some of the marginalized communities here in Zimbabwe.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Great.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good for you. You said you used some initials. Did you say SDG, Patricia? What does that mean?
Sustainable Development Goals, whereby you are looking at there are 17 of them from the United Nations: zero hunger, zero poverty, well-being. They are looking at gender equality, quality education. There are so many of them. Clean water, sanitation, and energy. There are quite a lot. There are 17 of them. So we do workshops on that. We talk about them, promotion, how we can promote as individuals, how we can promote it in the community, and just spreading awareness in how the corporate world can also help in terms of social responsibility, in terms of fulfilling the sustainable development goals.
So, Sophie, to add to that, what Patricia told, maybe I have shared with you the whatever work I do, that is part of this SDG goals as well, you know. So, this SDG goal 6 is about this housing, and then energy. There are 17 of them, right? So, the first one starts with zero hunger and poverty elimination. All these things are there. So housing is one aspect. Not everybody has a proper house in this world. So, and also this water and sanitation, no, you know, not many have the toilets, proper toilets, bathrooms. And
Yeah.
then energy, clean energy is one burning topic nowadays, because we are in the threshold of this global warming. You must have heard about that.
Mhm.
And it is just, we have just 10 years left, during which we have to reverse the global warming. Otherwise, it will be change of climate in a huge way. Whatever we have known about farming and our weather, that will all be gone. And there will be new weather set, climate, and cropping system that we have to adjust to. And that will take a lot of time. And you know, so that is also, so part of my mission statement also is about global calming, cooling, and whatever I'm doing. Global calming means creating peace. Cooling is global warming, reversing this global warming, and greening. And this has to be green so that this carbon production gets absorbed. So maybe I am introducing a new concept to you, but it ultimately it has this practical aspects also. It is people have to think in that way, particular way, to achieve that, because the usual ways of life going through. So whenever you ask somebody to visualize something, they visualize about a car, having a home, having a house, a big building, you know. These are all carbon producing thing which is contributing to this global warming. So we have to have different dreams for ourselves now, and different ways of thinking. Unless you think differently, you cannot get away with materialism. You understand that? So yeah, that way I work in that also. Might be a little confusing. Maybe we speak about it later in another session. But that is what. And thank you, Patricia, for joining. Actually, we started at 4:30 India time. You know. So whenever I mention time, that is India time actually. I don't know what is the time there in Zimbabwe? Oh,
She's on mute.
yeah,
She's muted.
you are on mute.
We are 3.5 hours behind India.
Oh,
Yes, how many hours?
Now it's almost 27 past 2.
Okay, okay.
Mm.
So that means you are 3
I'm
hours,
late.
3 hours, 30 minutes
Yes,
behind. Yes,
yes.
yes, all the African countries are like that only. So I have posted in that group, about the time. It was 4:30
Okay,
today because I have something coming up at 6:30 India time. So that is why I put it earlier. But the usual
okay.
time is 7 India time, which is around 3:30 your time.
Yes,
Maybe we will catch up with each other later. And thank you.
it's okay.
Yeah.
All right,
So,
it's okay.
Patricia, what I want everybody to do is whenever I am posting that African Crusade, no, so every day I am
Mhm,
posting something. African Crusade
mhm,
day number something. So today is African Crusade day number 14. So after this meeting, I'll take a picture of this and I'll post something. So I will tag each of us, right? So once that is done, you see that post, you just share it and put some comments so that your people, your friends will see and comment something. So
mhm.
that way we will broaden our group and activities.
Yes.
Minded people will
Okay.
come into that particular post rather than coming to being each other's friend. No, that will take a lot of energy otherwise. They should
Mm,
be commenting on that post, whether they
mhm.
are our friends or not, because
Okay.
they will be in the circle, so we can see, even if they are not friends. So
Mhm.
making friendship will take a lot of energy again. So let us not be going to that route, but comment. Commenting will actually give this publicity that we need to broaden our thing. Yes.
why
So
don't you, Sangeeta? Why don't you tell Patricia what you are about?
uh, I'm from India, Patricia. So you must have she is a friend now with me. So she might have seen a bit of me. So
Yes.
as already I have told that I work in that particular area, and
Yes.
in the online space, I am a women excellence coach, wherein I help women to overcome their personal struggles, you know. So, and
Mm,
personal struggles can be very tiny thing and immaterial for other people, but they undergo all those struggles, and they are the main people who can contribute towards whatever you are talking. No, this 17 SDG goals, they are the main women are the main who can contribute towards it. Any
mhm.
meaningful thing, they are the major contributors, but they are not able to do if they are not overcoming their personal struggles. So
Yes.
that is where I work in the online space. Otherwise, I'm like I work in an association of microfinance institutions who give small loans to people to bring up their livelihoods. And as this association person, I cater to their need, their financial thing, their regulatory requirement, and whatever way they need to be helped. That is what I do. My personal
Okay.
interests are, as you are saying, the SDG goals, women empowerment, all this. This is a similar thing. And I got connected to Sophie because we talk a lot of spirituality and
Okay.
that's the background and how our mind thinks, you know. Uh, and
Okay.
and everybody thinks differently, but they are all going to the same destination, their
Mm,
own way, and we are
okay.
comfortable with whatever way they are thinking. So about that we think a lot. And why this African crusade is, we got to start from somewhere where like-minded people should come up. And it so happens that I get Sophie so far away, I get you so far away, attracted to that particular mission, because we think in the same manner, right? Contributing to a cause which is not any personal. It is a global thing, and it will ultimately attract whatever we are thinking, doing in that. So somehow it happened. Somehow I got connected to Dr. Anita from and then she introduced me. When I spoke to her about this SDG kind of thing, she didn't understand a thing. She said, "I know people uh, whom I can introduce you." So we got introduced that way, and then made this. And if and particularly this orphanage, this founder of this orphanage, those people were telling me to do something about this thing, the orphanage, no, raising funds and all. So how do you raise funds? This is one way we figured out, and we have started. It is just 14 days old. So Sophie, as she will teach the children how to paint, because she is an artist herself, and she will create small videos and give to those children, because there is connectivity issue. Otherwise she could have uh, taught them online also. So
Okay.
and we will figure out also, you can also think about how to contribute, because you are relatively closer than us to
Mm.
Ethiopia. I don't know, you are in the south and Ethiopia is towards the north, I think. um,
Yes, I'm in the south
mm,
next to South Africa.
yes.
Mm.
And Nigeria, one friend is there from Nigeria, who is the person who is going to establish some skill building unit in that Ethiopian thing. So he is close to Sophie, and now they are planning how to do that painting thing and get those paintings of children auctioned at some. So that person is trying to build the business part of the sustainability part, you know, that unit needs to be self
Mm.
sustainable, not being
Mhm.
dependent all the time. In small way
Mhm.
or other they can be dependent, but not 80% of their things should come from their own um,
Initiatives.
whatever
Mhm.
initiative. Yes. So
Mm.
that is the idea. So maybe next time when we are all together, we can talk a lot about that, because each of us have their own expertise and we can contribute. That is what we found. Yeah.
It's okay. Thank you
So
so much. Which part of India? I was in India in December. Which part of India are you?
I'm at Delhi right now, in the capital city.
Oh, okay. I came to
Yeah.
New Delhi in December.
Okay, you
Then I
came
went to
for,
Agra
okay,
from
you came for that.
Zimbabwe. Yes.
Okay, okay. No, no, you came for that function, right? By this G100.
Yes.
Yes, yes. I was there too. I was there for one day.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It's okay. Thank you.
So next time when you come, maybe we know each other better, than we can meet each other, because we see each other, Sophie, in that function, each other, but won't recognize because of the.
Yeah, sure. I am planning to come. I've been invited for the International Women's Parliament. It's on 30th of June. I
Okay,
hope I'm going to make it.
okay, okay, okay,
Mm.
okay.
wow, there's some exciting things coming for you. That's
Thank
wonderful.
you.
Yeah.
That's great. If I when I go no, Sangeeta, when I go to my Facebook page and I share this, will I automatically be Patricia's friend then, or do we have to send one another a friend request? once I
I
share it.
You have to send a friend request. When you share, you will see Patricia as one of the person tagged.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you can click on that name, then
Okay.
the friend request is sent.
Okay.
Same with Patricia also, she can do the same. So
Yes.
you can no, accept each other or whatever.
yes.
You can speak to each other also on chat
Mm.
Okay.
and know each other. You already have done with Anes, so you can do
Yeah.
with Patricia as well. Yes.
Yes. I'm in West Virginia, uh, Patricia, the southern, one of the southern states, not the deep South, but
Mm.
I moved here from Ohio, and
Okay.
I moved here in July. I've been coming down to West Virginia for the last about 10 years as a visitor because my son and grandchildren, my youngest grandchildren, live down here. And then this last July, I decided um, to move here. So I'm in a new area that I really love. It has a beautiful river going through it, and I love water. So I'm down here, and I started a place called Villa Joy. It opens next week, and it's a space that's maybe 30 feet by 15, and it's a space that if you're an artist or a musician or a writer and you don't have a place to practice or to create, you can come here for no charge and spend some time,
Mhm.
creating or and it's a gathering and a connecting space. So it's
Mm.
open Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays during the day. And then Friday evenings, we're going to have organized discussions. Our first
Mm.
discussion is going to be on momentum.
Oh,
Yeah, and so we'll talk about what that means to different people. But that's my
okay.
background. I was raised in Ohio, in the northern part of the Midwest. I was raised in the Midwest. That's what
Mhm.
we call the area, and I'm retired. And my mission is the same as yours. And there
Mhm.
are this area was and is still full of coal mines. And so made their, um, a lot of people made their income by digging coal, and a lot of people still make their income here by working for the railroad, which
Mhm.
still carries coal. Every day the coal trains go by, and I don't know where they're going, but we're still in an area that functions with fossil fuels, um, to some capacity. Uh, there are more people than you would expect here who are living below the poverty level. There are a lot of children who go home when summer vacation ends to bad home situations without much food. So even
Mhm.
though this is a wealthy country, we all live in wealthy countries. It's just
Mm.
not distributed evenly. And so uh, even the big city I came from, had big pockets of uh, of people who did not have a place to go for a good meal or a home that they could depend on. So it doesn't, the issue of empowerment for women and men is global. It's not. It,
Mm. Mm.
so we're all dealing with that. We're all trying to make that better.
Ah, okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I've been there but I went to Mission, Texas for a ladies' conference. But
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been to Virginia. I still have a valid visa. One day I'm going to visit you. Thank
Good.
you. I've got a
Sure.
daughter
Come.
who lives in Dallas, Texas.
Oh yeah, that's a big.
Yes.
Texas is a big place. Texas is a
Yes.
big place. I
I went
just
to
got. I
Mission,
spent.
Texas. I
You
went
went
to Mission, Texas, which is on the
Mission,
border with the
Texas.
Mexican border.
Oh.
and
Ooh,
they've got a problem there, refugees and everything.
yes,
It's
yes.
something else.
What did you do? What did you do when you went?
I went for a ladies' conference. I was speaking there. I was a speaker.
I got it. Okay.
Mm,
That must have
mm.
been a pretty intense situation.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. It's
So
interesting because,
Yeah, it's all
you
right.
know, we have that huge statue that stands in New York City and welcomes everyone, but it's not that simple. it's
It's
we're
not.
we're
It's
finding
not.
it is not that simple.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm.
yeah.
It's all right. Thank you, Sophie.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Thank
Thank
So
you.
you.
so my meeting is in 10 minutes it will be. So and
I,
we again meet Saturday 6:30 p.m.
uh,
So see you again and we'll stay connected through Facebook.
it's okay. It's all
Yeah.
right. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank
So
you. Thank you, Sophie.
6:30 next Saturday, 6:30 p.m. next Saturday.
Yes.
Okay.
The usual
Indian time.
time. Usual time.
Yeah.
All right. It's
Okay.
okay.
All right.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice
Thank
to
Thank
you.
meet
you.
you, Patrice.
Thank you. Thank
Nice to meet you too.
Bye.